Honorable Men Discord. Who's better, Styles P or Jim Jones? Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. And first and foremost, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Who's better, Jim Jones or Styles P? Before I get to my opinion on that, let's get to what started it all. And I think it really honestly started from the versus battle between the Lox and Dipset. But what added to it after the Lox and Dipset versus battle was Jim Jones on the Breakfast Club and what he had to say. So let's get into that first and the other things I have queued up.
You did? Us? Not so much ready.
No.
Us not so much ready. But you know, you win some, you lose some. But what's up? Who wanna do a versus with me right now? Yeah.
That'd be a good.
Who wanna do one with me?
Who would you want to do a versus against?
Any one of them. Pull it up. New York, I love all my brothers in New York, but you can pull them up. Don't matter who it is. You heard? Who would you say? Who you hear? I got a real catalog.
New York versus.
I just had a gold record last year. I mean, we could go back. I got 20 records for every year.
You know what would be a good one?
We could start from 20 years ago. I give them one record for each year, all the way up to now.
Capo versus Styles P.
He don't got enough catalog for that.
He got a lot. Styles got a lot of catalog.
So I had to stop it because this is all on Charlamagne the God. He started this because he threw out Styles P's name. But as he should, because Jim Jones made it clear, listen, New York, anyone who wants to battle me. So, but Charlamagne, he had something to play in it. So let's get back to it.
Not a commercial catalog. He not gonna last. I mean, I love Styles. You dig? But set it up.
It depends. If it's just solo records, that'd be a good one for y'all.
I got more solo records than most of them that really hit. Remember that. You dig? Like I got a lot of gold singles and I got some action with me. You dig? It's gonna be hard for a lot of people from New York to win with Capo. And I got freestyles I could do. In New York City, it's gonna be hard. I would say that for anybody.
You know, on the record.
Sounds like he want to do one with 50 Cent. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Jim.
Nah, I don't want to do nothing with that sucker. You heard? Leave him out the conversation.
You did that on purpose.
No, I
He
didn't.
did. Don't
No,
start.
because he said a rapper.
No.
He said New York, and that's the only one that has a
I
catalog.
low key was thinking it. I just didn't want to say it.
See, it's because you got a catalog. There's no.
Because when you said think about it, I'm trying to think who else.
All right, so we're gonna leave it on that. I'm not gonna go into the whole Breakfast Club interview, but basically, he's Jim Jones, as you should, as an artist, you should be confident in yourself and your capabilities. But he basically said any one of the Lox plus New York City, he's like, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who can go up against his catalog, you know. And obviously, Jim Jones is still active. Is Styles P still active? Somewhat. You know, I can't really attest to that. If he is, you know, let me know in the comments, you know, what he's been working on. I don't follow Styles P like that. I do like the Lox, though, as a group. I wasn't that much of a fan of Styles P on his own. He had some great features that I enjoyed. But it's interesting, you know, what Jim Jones had to say. What do you guys think about that? You know, but in any regard, this is Styles P speaking on that, and he's on the podcast. It's No Funny Shit podcast, and Styles P speaking on that. First of all, the host of that podcast, you know, to Styles P's face, basically said, listen, I think he said he had Jim over Styles P, right? Which I can respect that. You know, say it to the guy's face, you know, and it's your opinion on the music. Music, everyone has an opinion on music. I don't think there's a right and wrong when it comes to music as far as your opinion. It's subjective. It's whatever song or artist connected with you, you know. But here's Styles P speaking on that. Let's get into it.
Me and Jim ain't in the same league. Me and Jim don't do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't.
I am a bar master. I am a lyrical technician. I've been on joints with some of the best MCs in the world. Big, Hov, Black Thought, Talib. I bar shit down. When Rakim tells you nice, KRS tells you nice, Big tells you nice, Hov tells you nice, Nas tells you nice, all these people tells you nice, you're fucking nice. I'm not here to make catchy hooks and do dope shit. I don't knock that. I'm trying to say some shit that's gonna make your soul. There's gonna be some shit you may catch 10 years later down the line. So me and Jim don't do the same thing. I am a bar master. I'm master ip of this shit. There's not many people in my age group that have the amount of catalog I have. You gotta go sit down and listen to me. I'm a fucking library of bars practically. I'll give you a My Life. I pull out Last Days with Big. I pull out Reservoir Dogs. I pull out The Joint with Nori.
Really good songs
in my own
with
catalog. Jim don't got a Alone in the Streets.
What?
Jim don't got a green piece of paper. He don't got none of them kind of songs that make niggas cry. A couple of them, but not 20 of them. You better check my jacket. You better check my jacket. I made up a fucking lane. It was no artist in the scene before.
Tell him that.
It was Fly Dudes, it was Kings. I invented the lane with niggas saying they make hard shit. Me, I forgot more dope rhymes than most people would ever make. And that's a fucking fact. I would tell you to ask Cam and Jules on the low.
So, Jim Jones responds, not verbally, but through a post. He put the difference between me and them old heads. Now, first of all, Jim Jones considers himself an old head, just to clarify that. But Jim Jones says, the difference between me and them old heads is my emotion is present day. Your emotion was yesterday, and I say that with all due respect. LOL, facts is facts. Drop something, stop telling me what you used to do. You used to be one of my favorite rappers. I used to have a flat top, LOL. I thought that was a funny response. You know, Jim Jones is feeling himself, you know, as he should. He grinds, he works hard, you know. He's still relevant in the music industry right now. You know, putting out videos. He did a video with Rick Ross not too long ago for his recent album. At the Church Steps is his recent release. Let me just be clear on that. But what's your thoughts on this? You know, is you have Styles P over Jim Jones? Now, this is my thought on it. All right, at the Church Steps. So it's recent release. Yes, I was correct. At the Church Steps is his recent release. He just dropped that on March 7th. But here's my thought on this. It's you can't negate Styles P's catalog. You can't negate the features that he mentioned when he was on that podcast speaking. And here's why. Music is timeless, and it's unfair to say to someone who has a catalog, oh, well, we're not talking about that stuff, you know. I have motion now. All right, Jim, you have motion now. It's great, and I'm not saying that sarcastically. It's great he has motion now. You know, it's phenomenal that he's still able to have motion because of his age, and because honestly, the industry is now for the younger generation. That doesn't mean that the older guys can't drop music. Absolutely not, because they're still doing it. But you know, overall, the younger generation is what's moving things right now, you know, and the older generation, we tend to hold on to those from our age bracket. It's just the nature of life, you know. It's nothing to feel ashamed about, you know. It's just how life operates, you know. The younger generation is controlling the tempo and the pulse of the music right now. But the fact that Jim Jones is able to put out music at his age and his and from when he started is impressive, you know. So you salute that. But to act as though Styles P's catalog is, well, that was then, you know, we're talking about now, can't really do that, because Styles P has a point also. You know, they both have points, but Styles P has a point also. He did a lot of songs with some heavy hitters, you know, and he's also done records that are like cemented as like some of the some of the best songs offered to hip hop. All right, Jim Jones. Can we say that about Jim Jones? He has songs also, but I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. This could be somewhat of a fair versus, but if they do it on features, I think Styles has him for sure. And if they do it on hit singles, Styles may still have him. You know, I don't know. The host of the host of the show that Styles P went to, the host of the podcast, he had Jim Jones. But maybe I'm missing something. And I like Jones. Again, I like Jones. And I'm not just saying that. If I didn't like Jones, I would have just said I don't really care for his music. As I mentioned, I didn't really care for Styles P as the best out of the Lox. He was never my favorite out of the Lox. I loved their projects together. It was always Jadakiss. And I know I've known people that would say, "Oh no, it's Styles P. It's not Jada. Jada's second." But with all of that aside, I'm gonna have to say if they did a versus, I think Styles P would pull this out. Also off of performance. I mean, we already saw how they performed in Madison Square Garden for the versus. I think Styles would outperform him too. See, it's one thing to have a catalog, but if you can't perform it and compete with the person standing beside you, could Jim Jones outperform Styles P? I don't think so. What's your thoughts on this? Who had the best contribution to hip hop? Overall contribution. We're gonna definitely regard Jim Jones as someone who made his way. You gotta salute him for that, because he was never second string in Dipset. It was Cameron, it was Jules Santana. And then I can't even say third was Jim Jones, because Jim Jones wasn't really rapping like that back then. He waited his turn. He played his position, so to speak. But he's made a way. You gotta salute his grind. You know, he made a way, and he's still doing his thing. You know, but that's not to say that because of that he edges Styles P. But that's just my take on it. What's your take on it? You know, I don't think there's a right or wrong in this. It's just a matter of opinion and sharing opinions and perspectives on the music. But that's it. That's all I have for today. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.